see if I can do this. Does this work? I don't know. We will find out. I found it! Oh, okay, we'll do that. The reason I'm making this video is because last night Woody threw his very first ever Create Stuff event. And I know you hear him talk about Create Stuff all of the time, but what you've never heard him really talk about is the Create Stuff event. Wait. So I guess I'm gonna tell you what that is. I'm gonna tell you what the Create Stuff event is. All this gear stuff that we used yesterday, it could just wait. He just makes it look so easy. But the thing about the Create Stuff event is that one, it was first of its kind, and two, it's not like any other event. It's not your typical event. And so I feel like, you know, just your regular typical highlight video, it's not gonna do it justice. So this video has to be a little different. So I have to backtrack it a little bit because I have to kind of explain to you how we got here. So since I'm talking about Woody, I figured I'd sit down in his desk, channel my inner Woody, and really give you guys a story. Woody has been a creator his entire life. We all know that. He's good at literally everything he does. But 3 or 4 years ago when I met him, he wasn't creating at all. He was working a full-time job in real estate, but he just wasn't creating. And if you follow Woody and you've watched a lot of his videos, you know that there's a lot of stuff that went into why he wasn't creating. And you know, if you don't know those answers and you haven't watched those videos, you definitely should go back and watch those videos. But what you don't know is what it was like behind the scenes when he started creating stuff and started YouTube and filming and doing all of the things that we all know he's good at. Again, when you're creating something, no matter what it is, and you're putting everything you have to make this thing, your creation, whatever it is, when you put that thing out into the world and you're not getting the response you thought you would, that nervousness it's scary, and it turns a lot of people away, and it's really tough to kind of be in the pit of all of that and see the bigger picture and convince yourself to keep going. I can relate to that 100%. I'm sure a lot of people out there can relate to that 100%. And that's what Woody kept doing. He kept going, and it didn't affect him. And it was awesome to watch. If anything, all of that doubt and that anxiety, it was propelling him to be creative and think of things that he would have never otherwise thought of. Like, that's why you saw things like the Shut Up and Fail podcast. You know, he knew his YouTube, by definition, was failing. So he created an entire podcast around that as a way to help him jump over that hoop of failure. And that's something, I don't know about you guys out there, but that is like mind-boggling to me, because who do you know in your life that is gonna go and do that stuff? As a creative person, we all deal with that. We all deal with anxiety. We all deal with stage fright. We don't know if what we're making is good enough. We always feel it can do better. But what made him and his journey so different was that he saw all of that mumbly jumbly mess as an opportunity and a challenge for himself to keep going. Crazy dog. So that brings us here, back to the beginning. What was the Create Stuff event, and why did Woody throw it? And Woody, when he started planning the event, I don't think he quite knew what he wanted yet. But as the pieces started coming together, he started to realize, you know, the shortcuts he wasn't willing to take. And it was really apparent when everything kind of came together. Basically what it was an event for you guys and about you guys. And he wanted to create a safe space where people could see that not only did they help him grow personally, but he wanted the people who helped him along the way to meet each other and to kind of just have this exponential effect of having what he experienced, but with the people that he knew that would connect with each other. You know, 2 of his friends are performance artists, and one of them just started a solo career, and the other one had a completely different career, you know, 2 years ago. He never thought that he would be making music. And he wanted so badly for his people, his group, his tribe to be able to see that these people don't know what they're doing, but they're trying it and they're going for it. So he made this event and had them come and perform. And they did fantastic. And it was so cool to see that happen. And the level of support from everybody watching was like, dude, you don't have it figured out, but you're on the right track. And not only that, if you needed help with audio engineering, if you needed help with mixing or songwriting, all of those people were in the audience, and they were more than happy to either give you some words of wisdom or just to help you out tangibly by collaboration, and it was so cool. You know, Woody chose his guest list very specifically, and he knew that the people that were coming, they all had side projects or they all owned businesses. And so he wanted to really pour back into the people who have poured into him, so he offered free headshots complete of charge. You know, for things like their LinkedIn profile, their fan pages, their newsletters, anything that they could see them using a headshot for, he wanted to give them completely free of charge, just as a thank you. And the conversations that were there were so real. They were authentic. You could tell whoever you were talking to really cared about what you were doing, and it was because you are all centered around this mantra of like, just go and create stuff. Even if you don't know what it is yet, just start creating and figure it out when you look back. And that's kind of what it ended up being. It was a really, really successful, awesome event. But it's not over. You know, there's a bunch more that he wants to do with Create Stuff. He wants to go bigger. He wants to invite more people. He wants to have live demonstrations and panels and other things and other opportunities for creatives. He wants, you know, sponsors to come out and give them supplies so that they can do the thing that they've always thought about, even if it's not perfect. You know, he doesn't want people who come into his life to ever feel like they should stop doing what they want to do simply because that anxiety and that fear and that doubt of it not being what you want it to be stop them. He wants to push people past that. He wants people to just start creating stuff. So if there's anybody out there who loved the event or loves the idea of the event, reach out to him. Reach out to him and offer a service or offer some advice or a tip or whatever. Because just like all of the people who were at the event, he too is just starting this. He's still failing. There were still a lot of things that went wrong, but he's one of those rare gems that will push through all of that and continuously try to do better. So sponsors, if you want to give some food, you know, event spaces, if you believe in the idea and want to open up your doors, trust me, it will be put to good use. And before I go, just gotta say, great stuff.